Nigeria is definitely not your typical tourist destination, but it is a very fascinating country. It is kind of divided in the middle. Even on the map, you can see that the south is super green, it has lush jungles, and the north is kind of deserty, dry, and it's also divided in terms of culture, religion, the way people dress. The north is more Islamically influenced, whereas the south is more Christian. But then again, these two religions, they live together peacefully in the whole country of Nigeria. So even though a lot of Westerners would have never, would never think about going there, I think it is a very fascinating place that should be explored. So today we're looking at one of the coolest cities in Nigeria, Kano, and we're going to see why a trip to Kano would actually make a lot of sense, what there is to see, how to get there, how expensive it is. So stay tuned. Let's get right into the map. As you guys can see, Kano is right here in the very north of Nigeria. In fact, this is the border with Niger. Literally just maybe an hour by car or bus up from Kano. And Kano has an international airport, which is, it sounds good. It is called an international airport, the Malanaminu Kano International Airport. However, it only serves domestic flights, unfortunately. That's what it looks like, by the way. It is a pretty decent African airport, I'd say. I mean, this looks new. The facade is pretty glassy. Yeah, it looks like a nice airport. And these are the flights. This is where you can go from there. It only serves domestic flights. Lagos and Abuja are the only places you can go from Kano. These are the prices to go to Lagos. Unfortunately, Nigeria is not a country with cheap fares. I don't know why that is, but a lot of African countries have pretty expensive flight prices, and it's not any different in Nigeria. $76, $80. Air Peace, of course, is a very famous airline, notorious almost. They're not particularly great, unfortunately. This one I have never even heard of. Let's zoom in. What even is that? I don't know, but yeah, the problem with flights in Nigeria is that there is just not enough competition. There's not many airlines that do flights in Nigeria, number one. Number two is they cut corners and they set prices the way they want to because there's no competition and nobody challenges them. And the third issue is it's just not very efficient because the demand's just not really there because the prices are already so high. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle, and that's very unfortunate. Anyway, what is there in Kano? So I think the most important thing, because Kano is a Muslim city, mostly, for the most part. There's the Emir Palace, which looks super stunning. I think it's the main tourist attraction in Kano. This is just insane, isn't it? That's really beautiful. So that is probably the number one spot you should go when you get there. I believe there's still an Emir. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, that's absolutely beautiful, gorgeous place. The culture is really tangible. When you go there, it's stunning. Then, of course, there's going to be the main mosque of Kano. Again, majority Muslim city, so you're going to get that. There's also this market over here, Wambai market. Yeah, so there is quite a bit to see in Kano. The textile, the traditional Muslim attire, or the northern Nigerian attire, maybe I should say, is something you can definitely get there. You can go shopping, and yeah, just a very, very beautiful place. That being said, of course, it is super hot. Let's just go back real quick. If we click on Kano, there it says it's mostly sunny, 33 degrees. It is currently October 9th at the time of this filming. So 33 degrees is extremely hot for October, considering it is north of the equator. It is summer there. Yeah, a bit crazy. Now, right, this is want to go Asia. I was trying to look for buses and trains, perhaps. There are no trains in Nigeria, or at least not in the north of Nigeria. Buses exist, but apparently you can't book them online. You just get there and then they leave whenever they fill up. So it's very inconsistent. And then, yeah, let's look at the prices of hotels. And these are the hotels in Kano. They are, again, pretty expensive. And that's unfortunately an issue traveling Africa. Everything is pretty pricey. There's the Hilton Palace Hotel. I don't know if it's part of the Hilton chain or if they just called it that. Could be either, but let's look at that. Let's actually see. Oh, there's only 11 hotels. Okay, let's do the lowest first to get the cheapest hotel in Kano. And that is it, the Hema Guest House. Quite far from the center. There's also the Porter Gulf Hotel. So, you know, the cheapest actual hotel being $63 a night is not great. I will be honest with you. These are the rooms. It looks fine, but $70 a night, $80 a night, these are European prices. And considering in Africa, the average salary is way lower, it just doesn't make sense. And unfortunately, many people in Africa are not able to travel because of that, which is super unfortunate. But it is a continent that is on the rise. Just look at Indonesia like 30 years ago. It was probably at the same point that Africa or Nigeria is at now, and see how they've developed in those years. So I think Nigeria is absolutely on the rise, and it will be at the same level, and will have the same level of infrastructure and sophistication very, very soon. But yeah, Porter Gulf Hotel is the cheapest hotel you can get. This is the room. It looks fine. Sadly, no budget option, as I've already mentioned. Last thing we should look at are the restaurants in Kano. I'm not actually seeing any Nigerian options. Everything it says Mexican, Lebanese, Italian, Mediterranean, Chinese, Indian, which is unfortunate. Definitely very unfortunate, because I would love to see a Nigerian restaurant. Chicken Castle, still not that Nigerian. I don't know. It is, yeah, nothing on TripAdvisor, but I think you just have to go out, go into the city, find the best restaurants there, and go for it. But considering there isn't anything on TripAdvisor, please let me know what Nigerian food looks like. Please let me know what is traditional about Kano, and maybe other things you would want to see in the city center, because I'm very interested. There's just very little information about this city, even though it is super, super cool and deserves a lot more recognition than it gets. But with that, I'm going to end the video here. Please like, please subscribe for more videos from underrated cities all around the world, and I'm going to see you all very, very soon in the next one. Bye for now.